Who are we?
So we are Quilters HQ, Windmill Sewing Center, and Sewing Machines Express. The websites are quiltershq.com, windmillsewingcenter.com, and QHQ2.com.
What's the show, and when do we have the show? And
so this is Make It Sew. It's on the JoanSews channel on YouTube and Quilters HQ on Facebook. And so we do this every week from 6 to 7 Central Time. And sometimes we sell things, sometimes we demo things. We are doing a sew-along. This is a quilt that I designed. This is one of the blocks. We're going to make a portion of it tonight, a little more than what we normally do, because this has to be, I did include piecing instructions on the pattern. And so they're making funny faces back there, and I'm wondering what's going on. It's like, yeah. I wish that we had like cameras on everybody so everybody could see what
we're working on that. We're working on. Hi, Rick. Welcome to the show.
So,
did we have a show and tell for the Let's Surge class that matched up? I think we've got a sample of that. Judy was reminding me. So
we do. I had it out. So this is a sewing machine. I think it's called a caddy. Judy, correct me if I'm wrong. So this goes underneath your sewing machine. Here, I'll tip it forward. And then it hangs down so that you can put your scissors and little bobbins. You got this little pouch for trash, and another little pouch over here for scissors and bobbin, maybe.
Needles.
Needles.
Pack of needles, I'm sure.
Yep.
Need them, right?
So, oh, no, this is for your serger. This is your waste bin for your serger.
Oh, perfect.
But
even better.
This would do double duty. I would put it under my sewing machine too and use it, so definitely. And it's Velcro, so you can take it off and carry it to the rubbish and throw it all away. So that's, I think, their next project. I think.
Yeah, Judy, is that their next project? You might comment on there.
So, Surge class is definitely worth taking. Everybody who has taken it has really enjoyed it, and really
big pouch for chocolate.
Pouch for chocolate.
That's a good call. Okay.
Well, the chocolate wrappers for sure.
Oh no, that's tricky. She said put a mirror back there and then you'd see us. Patsy's always looking out for you.
I gotta figure out how to do that. Hey, we are making progress on our new location. We got our permit. Yay! Yay, City of Olathe! And that's not sarcastic. I'm serious. There's only one guy doing permits there, and I am certain that he is overworked and overwhelmed. So we got our permit. I think they're pretty close to being done with the demo. So carrying stuff out we don't want, because Aldi left all of these stands for like grocery store registers, and we just don't need those kind. So but we'll keep you posted. But now it looks like April is when we'll be moving.
Or the end of April.
Fingers crossed, end of April. We do have a shop hop first week of April, so that's coming up. What else? There's something else. Oh, AQS in Branson. Robert and I will be down there for that. We have several booths. We have the Janome booth, we have the Juki booth, the Elna booth, the Viking booth, and then we are also going to have Arrow sewing machine cabinets. So it's always a great time to buy a machine, always a great time to buy a cabinet. Discounts are real deep. So, and then we are bringing in classroom machines for Viking and Janome, and we will want to sell all of those machines. So if you're thinking about adopting a new machine, come see us at AQS. Plus, it's all full of sewing machine, or vendors with sewing fabric and notions and demos. If you haven't been to an AQS show, it's worth taking the time to drive down there and go. I've been to several, and I've been to the one in Iowa, which I heard a rumor that it's coming back, the one in Des Moines. I don't know if it's Des Moines or Des Moines.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Got another new viewer tonight. Hi, Marcia. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, Marcia. So let's get started with our block tonight. It is block 3A. This one is going so fast. So we're more than halfway there. Well, wow. Tonight we'll be more than halfway there. So this one is kind of a, you know, an X. It's kind of a fancier X, but you will want to pay attention when you're doing these red blocks here, because we want them to be in line with the X. So pattern is on the website, available to download. I was cutting out my fabric. I did see a little error. On the cream fabric, it says width the fabric 9 inches. It should be 9.5 inches. I'm going to make it work. You can make it work too. But the subcutting is correct. It's 5.5 and 4. I'm using like 5 1/4 and 3 3/4, and it still works. So I'm going to cut out, we're using dies number 1, 2, and 8. So I'm going to cut out my largest piece first. And we need 4 of these. You could rotary cut these. I'm not going to, but you know, big squares like this, you could do rotary cutting pretty easily. And these are just 4.5 inch squares. The original pattern had them pieced, but I was like, if I'm working on the pattern, I can just make it so that we don't have to piece those pieces. So there are those 4 pieces, and then we need 8 of these. So again, I'm just going to fold this over, and I'm kind of using the die itself to line up my fabric, and then I'm just going to really closely cover that. There are the 8 of those that we need. And then that can just be rubbish. And then our next one, we need 8 patches of the red. So you got half of a width of fabric in there. So you're just going to fold this over. I'm going to fold it so that the salvage is not included in my fold. I think I just got 16. Nope. So we just need 8 of those. So we just need 2 layers. And then we need 16 of these. So I'm going to do...
Yeah, Martha, you can go to quiltershq.com and you can actually see the project.
Yep, if there is a link at the top of the Quilters HQ webpage, and you can download all of the patterns, see the project. If you don't, we're using AccuQuilt to piece this because, you know, I'm not kidding, I'm at the point where if I can't cut it out with AccuQuilt, I'm probably not going to make it. Because you can see how quickly this goes. So there's my 6 layers. I'm going to cut that out. The patterns are there. And then the rotary cutting instructions are also included in the pattern for those of you that don't have AccuQuilt. So there's my 8 red pieces.
So we kind of, this is a starting segment for the show, so we usually start and get the block done and do some intros, and then we have some show and tells. We'll talk about some products and some other quilting ideas for inspiration. So if you want to hang on, Marcia, we always do a giveaway every single show.
Yep.
And there's no purchase necessary. All you need to do is comment.
And we do appreciate it if you like, share, and hit the subscribe button.
Smash up the like button.
Get the notification bell so you know when we go live, because we also have an AccuQuilt club that we go live from that as well. And so...
Hi, Carla. Welcome.
If you're in a region where there's not a shop, you're buying online, I have tons and tons of tips and tricks for this product. I use it myself. I use it at home. I have been having fun with a 4-inch cube. I'll bring you in a show and tell for that soon.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
It's So die number 5, we need 16 half square triangles. So there's 2 shapes, so that's 4, 8, and 12. So there's 12 of those. And I need one more pass with this to get my 16. And 16. And then we also need 16 of this. So I'm checking to make sure. So let's do it this way. So you're going to take this piece after you cut out those larger squares, fold it in half like this, and you'll make, so 1, 2, we might need to adjust that. So that's 8. Yep, I'll need more fabric, but we can add that to the kit.
How much is the kit tonight?
I think it's $5.83. I wrote it down in my book and I don't have it with me. So again, this one you're going to turn it so that you still have your straight grain going through the cutting. Nope, you can't get it. I was thinking we couldn't, but we could. So there is 8 and we need 16.
Improvise.
Yeah. And there is one 16-inch block completely cut out. And what was that, like 5 minutes? No, that's 8. I need twice as much, but we will have enough to do this tonight. So with this pattern, it's actually going to piece it in 3 pieces. So I'm going to make a couple of the segments. And show you, we're not going to sew the whole thing together, but I just want to make a couple of the segments and show you how easily this goes together. So we'll need 2 of these, white and a dark blue. And I'm sewing on the TL18 tonight. Let me make sure, lower my presser foot here.
So Joan, what is the differences really between the 2010 and the 2018? I mean, they look a lot, or the TL18, they look a lot the same.
They do.
Really different?
So the TL18 is part of the QVP brand. You can tell the difference between that and the 2010 or any of the Juki products because they have this real bluish purple side cover. Some of the machines have the lid that's the same color. But the major difference in this machine, why you would want to go to this one over the 2010, is this one has the ability to raise the presser foot pressure, or the presser foot away from the feed dogs. So if you're sewing something really thick like a rag quilt or handbags or something like that, and you need that extra lift, this is the one you would want. Oops, there we go. We're on turtle. And so anytime, this doesn't matter what machine you're using, anytime you are having to assist, and when I say assist, I mean like help push your fabric through, like push it to get it through, you need to decrease the presser foot pressure on your machine, because the machine should be able to just pull those products, those fabrics through. This is the whatchamacallit, or no, doohickey.
Yep.
It's a multifunction.
That's the tool right there.
Finger presser tool. Saves me from having to walk over to the iron. And so we're just going to press these open, and it really does a good job. So I'm going to lay these out so I get them going the right way. I must have moved a little bit there.
Hi, Patty. How are you? Welcome.
And so we're going to create a little segment like this to go together. And so you'll create 4 of these segments. And you're going to create another one is, you'll need 2 of these. So let's make 2 of these real quick. Got too many pieces. And this little tool is a magnetic seam guide. Love it, love it, love it. I like it better than using the feet that have the little guide, that little sliver of metal that keeps the fabric in the 1/4 inch. I like this better because sometimes if you don't like lay your fabric out just completely straight on there, you can catch threads with that little piece of metal. And all machines have that foot, whether it comes with it or not. You know, it's available for most machines. And again, I'm just going to press these towards the dark. Another thing that I really like about AccuQuilt is I don't have to go back and trim the dog ears off of my blocks. Okay, so then we need, I'm going to lay this out too.
Hey, Bernadine, how are you?
Pieces out of here.
I think we're going to be out in your neighborhood in mid-April, late April, for a VDTA show.
Oh, yep.
In Vegas.
Vegas. So we're going to make a segment that looks like that. And this is how this block goes together. I'm going to piece these together. We're not going to piece the whole quilt. The pattern is pretty easy to follow. Or the whole quilt. We are going to piece the whole quilt. We're not going to piece the whole block tonight, though. So I have homework.
Peggy said she made a baby romper and used the doohickey, and it was very helpful.
Yeah.
She said wonderful, so that actually is a much stronger word.
Yeah, I think they're 7 something. Yep.
That's right, Vegas.
Going to Vegas. What's the thing? What happens in Vegas? We're boring people. What was the movie? Bachelor Party or something? Hangover. Yeah.
Nope. Those days are over.
Yeah, that's... can't do that. Not anymore.
That's too long to recoup.
Not that I ever really did. It's just...
Work. Does the magnetic seam guide affect the electronics on the machine?
It does not.
So the only thing with the magnetic seam guide is you need to, there are certain machines that it doesn't work just from where the foot placement is. And I think the Viking Epic 2 was one of those models. I think there were some Berninas.
Some of them
didn't work properly. So.
Yeah, because I think it might work if you move your needle. Since this is a straight stitch only machine, the feed dogs are really narrow. So I don't have to worry about the feed dog, the magnet covering up the feed dogs. So those are the main segments, and this is going to go right there on that block. And then there is a center block, which is just repeats of this block. In the center, this block is turned with the points inside. So on the outside of the block, it's out here. So you'll have 2 pieces of this together when you piece it. I do recommend that you lay this block out before you piece it all together. It's just going to save you some heartache and having to dig out your seam ripper. That's no fun. I'm not friends with my seam ripper.
Hi, Barbara. How are you? Welcome.
Don't like using it.
If you're just getting in the middle of the show, this is Make It So. We do it on every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central. We're working on the block of the week. The pattern's up on the website. When we're done with this, we'll be doing a show and tell. Some creative stuff today. We don't have a lot of sale items today. But
no, we're not. Well, if you want one of these, you would comment, make it mine, and
multi-finger presser too.
Doohickey. Multi-function finger pressers. So
I don't know what was going on in the marketing department that day.
I think it was Margarita Day. Yeah, we'll call it. No.
Yeah.
No.
Something way too long.
I mean, I get that you want the name to describe the product, but multi-function finger presser tool.
What is that? MFFFP?
Yeah.
MFFFP. But that's only one use. You can use it as a stylus. You can use it with tracing paper to mark. It's a great tool for what it costs. I like it better than the purple thing because this one is really rigid.
Hey, Teresa, how are you? How's the retreat going?
So let's talk about the quilt behind us.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody knows what it is. I think so.
It is a pineapple quilt. And it was made with AccuQuilt. So this is
I'll come around there.
the pineapple die. It's $89.99. We do have a discount on our AccuQuilt products. If you use the code QHQACC, or you can comment Make It Mine and we'll just automatically apply that discount for you. I can't tell you what the discount is because they have map rules. I guess it doesn't matter anymore because they do their own. I don't know. We'll find out here soon. They're supposed to be making an announcement soon. But I cut this out in 2 evenings after work. And this is 9x9. It's 81 blocks. And it went so fast. And the way that this quilt, this is laid out, you've got a section for red, you've got a section for white, and then you've got another section for red. If I had used my strip dies to cut these strips out before I laid it out, instead of rotary cutting them, I could have cut it out even faster. I could probably save myself 40 minutes cutting this quilt out. It did take a little bit longer to quilt because, you know, even at my speed of sewing, but this is a quilt that I would not have tried to take on without AccuQuilt. There are rulers out there, and some people enjoy using them. So, but just like your, there's an extra thread. Just like your half square triangles and everything, these pieces are dog-eared for you. They're cut exactly to size. So normally when we make a pineapple quilt block, we sew it, and then there's a ruler that you can use, and then you trim it, and then you sew, and then you trim. I don't want to do that. I want to just sit down and sew. So I had these stacks of pieces. They were about like this, of each of these places, and you start, so the block is actually right here. This is the edge of the block where I'm tracing. So you start with your center square, and then you just sew the next 4 pieces, and then you're sewing the next 4 pieces. And I kind of tossed them around a little bit when I was, because I didn't have enough fabric to just use 2 colors. I do love 2-colored quilts, but I didn't have enough to just use the same 2 fabrics, so I found fabrics that kind of went together. And so the reds are different color red, or not different colors, they're just different patterns, and then the creams are different colors as well. There's another thread. But I actually haven't taken this one home to proof it yet, but if you haven't made one, it's a wonderful quilt to make. This is super easy. It looks like it's really complex. You're just sewing straight seams, and you can fly through these. So it was 81 blocks, so I just string pieced them all together. It did take me a little while to quilt it, though. to piece all the blocks together, and then I brought it here to quilt because I don't want to quilt anything this big on the sit-down quilting machine. We've got this dark gray thread, so this should show up really well. Let me drag my pedal over here. And so this is going to be sewing with the automation. Let me just grab these real quick. These little pads help you steer while you're quilting. And so I'm just going to exit here real quick, pull my bottom thread up, just like that. And so basically we're just going to make this kind of half semicircle. Yeah.
Yeah, live show can be interesting. Yeah, for sure. We never know what's going to happen on the live show.
So you're going to make a large half circle. Can we see okay? Okay. And then you're going to come part way back out. And I'm going to do this really big. And then whatever direction you made that circle, you're going to go the opposite way. So I went towards my left. I'm going to come back out a little bit, go to the right. So we're not going completely around. And so I've got this space over here. I can sew back around to that and go that way. So this is kind of that pattern. You can make smaller ones. Come off, make another larger one. So the key to this pattern is always go in the opposite direction that you were sewing. And I've got this space right here, so I'm just going to sew down there. And this pattern will work really well for quilts that are very geometric. And I'm going to make a smaller one here. But I was working on a quilt that they did in our Springfield store, and I'm quilting it for them. I'm doing custom quilting on it. And so this is one of the patterns that I'm using for the background fill. So you can see how quickly and without a lot of effort you can fill up a very large. And I'm just going to come this way, another big one. You can fill up a pretty large area, and don't worry about it when you have like these little gaps. If somebody says anything, just tell them you meant to do that. So this is a really easy, and I wouldn't tell you it was easy if it wasn't. This is a really easy pattern to do. You can do this. You can do this on your domestic. You can do this on your long arm. You can do this on your sit-down quilting machine. This one is easy. If you practice drawing it out with a piece of paper and get kind of an idea of how you can keep it even, then you can make this one as well. It is not difficult. This is not one, anybody can do this one. Thank you, Vanna. This is our color of the month. This is bubblegum. This is color number 3660. And it is a variegated thread. It's really super pretty for Valentine's.
Yeah, so if you're part of the thread of the month club, if you want to explain that.
So if you're not part of the thread club, this is 15% off. Our Aerofill thread price is $14.99 now. They had a price increase. So it's 15% off of that. And if you are in our thread club, it's 20% off. We are still looking for replacements for the boxes for the thread club. I think I have a lead on one, or Carrie has a lead on one. So it's $20 to join. Comes with a spool of white, and you get this nice little carrying box to store all your